5 pointers for beginner darts players. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing 5 pointers that are going to get your darts game off the ground if you are an absolute beginner player. Now what's prompted this video is I made a video earlier this week. Now that was around the mindset of an improving player and a trap that many people can easily fall into. I would encourage you to go check out that video. I'll put the link in the description down below. But the takeaway really was that it's very easy to rip up your darts game, technically, in order to chase improvement. And I argued in that video that improvement comes from building your game gradually. Now, after uploading that video and posting it, I've had some really good interaction on the channel in the last week, by the way. So thank you very much for that. If you have commented or let me know you like the videos, thank you for that again. But upon reflection after posting that video, I realized that I'd done certain darts players a disservice. Now, what I mean by this is, let's just imagine you're an absolute beginner darts player who has just got like a board maybe this week, or you're planning to get a darts board, and I'm talking in that video saying you shouldn't be ripping up your throw, you shouldn't be like dissecting your game, you shouldn't be kind of really breaking everything down. But what if you've not got a throw to really break down? What if you're so early in the darts journey that you don't really know what you can do? It's like, I like the advice, but I don't have anything to rip apart. I don't have anything to build on. I'm literally kind of throwing at the board, and maybe I'm aiming at the treble 20 and I'm hitting the 17. Maybe I'm not even getting on the board. Maybe I'm hitting the wall or the surround. It's something we all go through. And I felt unfair after posting that video, because I thought if someone is at that stage of their journey and they're watching my video, they're not getting what they need. And what I think they need at that stage, or what I think you need, I should say, is, because I'm speaking to you in this video, but I think you need some very, very basic pointers that are basic, easy to digest, memorable, and simple. And the reason I say that is because you do not want to be overwhelming yourself with pointers when you're trying to throw. You don't want to be thinking of 50 different things. You really want to be thinking of a few, ideally, really simple things that you can just follow generally, and they will push you in the right direction. And the goal of giving you these tips, what I'm going to give you shortly, is you will be able to take these like pointers, you will be able to remember them as you're throwing, and they should push you to a place where you can feel a little bit confident about your throw, and you can build from there. You can take the throw in your own direction, you can improve it, you can tweak it, you can build upon it, and it will get you to where you need to go with your own work on the board. I just want to push you in the right direction. So I know in the last video I talked about I don't really give technical pointers, and I don't, to be truthful, but I wanted to give something for beginners who are just completely lost and they just want some very basic elements to just kind of think about. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump in. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is going to be pointer number 1. I'll write them down on here, but I'll also put them on the screen because I know I have bad handwriting. But the first thing that I want to mention is elbow, not shoulder. Now, this one I think is more of just a kind of thing to know rather than a pointer, but I'm going to put it in anyway because I think it's important to remember. So when you're throwing the dart, you're not throwing with your shoulder. You don't want to be moving that shoulder. You want to be throwing with your elbow. You want that elbow pop. That's what you kind of want to remember. So I'm going to write that down now. Elbow, not shoulder. Like I say, I'll also put this on the screen as well. So just remember, you're not throwing with your shoulder. You don't want that movement, that pronounced sort of shoulder movement. Your shoulder is going to move a little bit. I'm sure when I throw, I probably move my shoulder a little bit, but the idea is it's your elbow that's giving you that pop. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, it would help if I could do the right hand gesture. Point number 2 is pivot. Now, let me write this one down as well. When I mention pivot, it kind of falls into point 1, but I'm going to kind of have them as separate points because I want you to remember this word. Now, the reason I want you to remember the word pivot is because your elbow, when you throw that dart, is going to pivot. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to be doing that. You want that elbow to be the pivot point. So that's what I would try and remember. Try and think of your elbow as much as you can when you're throwing the dart and you're just getting started. That is point number 2. Now for point number 3, we're going to go in a slightly different direction. Now I'm not going to point the camera at my feet because I don't think you need to look at my feet, but just know that as I'm standing here right now, my left foot is forward. Now look at the angle of my body as a result. And I'm right-handed, so I'm left foot. I've got my left foot forward here. My right hand is my throwing hand. Look at how awkward this is. So the point here is lead foot forward. Let me write that down, and then I'll show you a bit more why it's important. Okay, so I'm standing here with my left foot forward. I'm right-handed. I'm throwing the dart. It's not right, is it? Look at my body. I'm throwing across my body. Now, this is going to cause injuries, this is going to cause discomfort, this is just going to be a horrible throw. If I have any viewers in America, you probably hear this all the time in the NFL or football, don't throw across your body. And it's a similar sort of thing in darts. You don't want to be thrown across your body. And when I stand with my right foot forward, now my right foot forward is down below, you can just see the angle of my chest is completely different as a result. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a stance video and how you've got to stand. Stand what's comfortable for you. But I would just encourage you to have your lead foot, and by lead, I mean if you're right-handed, your right foot, and if you're left-handed, your left foot forward. Now, you can be quite square. There's a lot of players out there in the world, Luke Humphries, for example, who throw very square, and that's fine. But I would just encourage that your favoured foot is forward, just so that your body angle is better and you're not throwing across your body. So point number 3, lead foot forward. Point number 4 is also about stance, but I'm not going to get complicated on this. It's very simple. Be stable and solid with your foundation. So when I'm standing here, I'm standing the wrong way. As I'm standing here now, and I'm imagining myself throwing the dart, I want to be stable. I don't want to be wobbling. I don't want to be falling forward. I don't want to be falling backwards. I don't want to be putting my body into the throw. My body, my legs need to be stable. They need to be the force that grounds me, and the throw can be built upon that. If you are falling over as you throw, I do see this in a lot of beginner players, or if you're sort of just tipping over, or if you're putting your whole body into it, it's probably not going to work. And it's going to disrupt your throw, and I would just encourage you to have a solid foundation. Nice and simple, solid foundation. Now, point number 5 is probably the most technical. So if the first 4 points are nice and easy for you, and you feel as though you've got the room to digest this as you're throwing a dart, then by all means do so. But if you're an absolute beginner and the first 4 points are sort of a lot to kind of just remember for the time being, then I would probably prioritize the other things before I think about this. But I think it's something that is handy to know, and if you've got the capacity to be taking this on as a pointer, I would encourage you to do it. This is all about the throw and the release of the dart. When you release the dart, I want you to look at my hand. This little point of the hand here is what you want to be pointing at the target. So I don't mean that in the sense where you're going to go and push the arm out. What I mean is when you release the dart, and let me just pull a dart up here, you've got the dart in your hand, and when you release that dart, you want that release to be coming from that point. So hand comes out and the dart comes out straight. That's what you want. It doesn't have to be too complicated. Just look at your hand as you're throwing and look at this and think this is the point where we need to be lining it up. We need to be releasing the dart to come out of here. Not here, not here, here. Release the dart, and we get a little wrist flick at the end, but this isn't a video about releasing the dart. This is not a technical video. Once again, I don't really believe in overwhelming you with technical information. I think you've got to find your own throw, and I don't think you should be listening to 100 pointers, but I think these 5, and it would help if I wrote the last 2 down, so let me just do that now. And finally, number 5, line up release, I'll call this one. So I wanted to make these as simple as possible. I did not want them to be long. I did not want to bog you down with an hour on each point. I wanted to make them short, concise, easy to digest, and easy to remember. So when you're standing at the oche and you're trying to make your throw and you're trying to just really focus on hitting the 20, for example. I wanted these 5 things to be easy to remember in that scenario. I think they are. I would like to think they are. Hopefully they are. But if the 5th one is a little bit tough for now, just focus on the first 4. And I really do think the first 4 are quite straightforward, because remember, you're throwing with your elbow and not your shoulder. You're getting that pivot on the arm. That's number 2. Your lead foot is going to be, I'm putting my wrong foot forward there. Your lead foot, if you're right-handed, your right foot goes forward or just slightly ahead, whatever's comfortable for you. And finally, well, not finally, solid foundation is number 4. Just be stable and comfortable in how you're standing as you throw the dart. And then finally, we've got that release point. We've got that sort of point of the hand right here where we just want to release it. Very simple, I think. I wanted to make this video because I think beginners need to hear a few little pointers, and that will take them a long way. And from there, you can build your own game, you can do your own thing, you can improve upon what you're building, and you can develop your own throw. But yeah, I do think the technical stuff can bog people down, and this is probably about as technical as I'm going to get on the channel for the foreseeable future, to be truthful, because I really do believe you'll get your best results from improving your practice, your mental game, and other things before you improve technical things, before you start trying to rip your game apart. And once again, I would encourage you to go check out that last video I did, because I went quite in detail on that. I'll put the link in the description. This is my 5 pointers for absolute beginners. Thank you very much for watching. If you have watched this far, I really do appreciate it. I've had some tremendous support in the last week or so on the channel. Wasn't expecting it at all. I've had some fantastic comments. I've had lots of likes, lots of views for my channel, especially. I'm a new channel. So I really do appreciate any of you watching all around the world. I'm getting comments. It's crazy. But once again, thank you. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you for the next one. Bye-bye.